Learning English, it can feel like you're trying to put together a puzzle, but someone forgot to give you all the pieces.
Totally. And even when you think you found a pattern, English throws a curveball.
Exactly. So today, we're diving deep into why English can be so tricky.
And even more importantly, we're going to give you some real practical strategies.
Yep. Yeah.
Like how to actually use this stuff to understand those fast-talking TV shows, nail that big presentation, and feel comfortable, just speaking English.
We want to help you make sense of it all.
Okay, so first things first. Why does English sometimes feel like it's playing by its own rules?
Right. Like, where do we even begin?
Well, even something as basic as verbs can get confusing, right? Like, in so many languages, you learn the pattern and you're good.
Yeah.
But English, it's all like, go, and then went. Why not good? Like, what happened to the rules?
It is super frustrating. You're looking for consistency, and English is like, nope. And a lot of those weird verbs, they actually come from older forms of English.
Yeah. Or even, like, other languages that all got mixed in over time, so there's a reason, even if it doesn't make it any easier.
So it's not just random chaos.
Right. Well, maybe a little chaos, but think about read. Same spelling, but totally different pronunciation, depending on if it's past or present.
The spelling and pronunciation thing. That one drives me crazy, and I'm a native speaker.
I know, right?
Like though, tough, and thought. They look similar on paper, but sound totally different. How is anyone supposed to figure that out?
Yeah, you'd think they would be consistent. That lack of a clear connection between the spelling and the sound can be a real confidence killer for learners.
For sure.
You spend all this time learning to spell it right, and then boom, it sounds totally different.
Makes it tough to feel good about speaking, too.
Oh, absolutely. It's like the visual and the sound just don't match up the way you'd expect.
Okay, and then there's just the sheer size of the English vocabulary. It's massive. Over 1 million words. And then all those synonyms that mean basically the same thing.
Right, like you finally learn one word, and then boom, there are 5 more that mean the same thing.
Yeah, but each with a slightly different shade of meaning. It can be overwhelming.
Oh, for sure. Having a large vocabulary is a sign of being good at a language, but for English learners, it can just be a lot to handle.
Absolutely.
It's easy to feel like you'll never know enough words, and that can be discouraging. But, you can get surprisingly far with a much smaller core vocabulary.
Okay, good. So there is hope.
Absolutely.
Huh.
Like around 2,000 of the most common words, and you can actually understand a lot.
That's reassuring. Yeah. So you might have all the grammar and vocabulary down, but then there's the actual speaking part, which can be terrifying for a lot of people.
It is. Even if you know the rules, when you actually have to open your mouth and talk.
That's like hitting a brick wall.
It really is. It's that fear of making mistakes, of not being understood, of sounding awkward. It can really hold people back.
It's a very real anxiety. It takes courage to just go for it.
Oh, absolutely. Putting yourself out there speaking in a new language, it makes you vulnerable.
Right. And then you have native speakers who talk fast and throw in all this slang you've never heard.
And mumble. Don't forget the mumbling.
Oh, the mumbling. And accents, all those regional accents. It's like they're speaking a secret code.
That jump from the classroom to real-world conversation can be a shock. It can make learners feel like all their hard work isn't paying off.
Like they're back at square one. So we've talked about a lot of the outside stuff, but what's actually happening inside our brains when we're struggling with English?
Yeah, it's more than just memorizing words, right?
Right. Like, is there a neurological reason why this is so hard?
Absolutely. It all comes down to neuroplasticity.
Okay, break that down for us.
So your brain is incredibly adaptable. It can change and make new connections throughout your life.
Okay.
And when you learn English, your brain is literally forming new pathways, new connections between brain cells to deal with this language.
Just like rewiring your brain.
Exactly. And it's hard work. It's like building a whole new highway system in your brain.
That's a great analogy. And I guess at first, those new roads are bumpy and inefficient.
Oh, definitely. Your brain has spent years, maybe decades, getting really good at your first language.
Makes sense.
So when you try English, it wants to go back to what it knows, what's easiest. It's called native language interference.
Like falling back on old habits.
Yeah. It's almost like your brain is saying, why are we doing this the hard way? I have a perfectly good system over here.
And that's why it feels so exhausting.
Right. It takes a lot of effort to build those new English pathways.
I think a lot of people can relate to that feeling of being mentally drained after trying to use English for a while.
Oh, yeah, it's real. That's cognitive overload. You're juggling so many things at once. New words, grammar rules, pronunciation, trying to understand someone else, and then trying to come up with your own response.
It's a lot to process. No wonder we feel tired.
It's like juggling, right? But instead of just 5 balls, you have 5 different types of balls, and each one has its own set of rules.
That is a perfect way to put it. So to anyone feeling this way, remember, it's totally normal.
Yes. It doesn't mean you're bad at English or that you're not cut out for this.
It just means your brain is working hard.
Exactly. Be kind to yourself. Learning a new language is tough.
Okay, so we've talked about the challenges of English itself and what's going on in our brains. But now let's talk about mindset.
Okay. Yeah. Mindset is everything.
Because how you think about this whole learning process can make a huge difference.
It really can. And one of the biggest things I see holding learners back is perfectionism.
Oh, that makes sense.
They get so focused on being perfect, on not making any mistakes, that they end up not speaking at all.
It's like they think if they can't say it perfectly, they shouldn't say anything at all.
Exactly. It backfires because that fear of making a mistake prevents you from getting the practice you need.
Yeah, you have to be willing to mess up a bit.
Exactly. And here's the thing. Even native English speakers make mistakes all the time.
They do?
All the time. We use the wrong words, we mess up grammar, it happens.
I guess we don't even notice it.
Right, and it doesn't stop us from communicating.
True. It's more about getting your meaning across than being perfect.
Exactly. So ditch the perfectionism. Instead, work towards a growth mindset.
What does that mean?
It means believing that you can get better with effort. You're not stuck at a certain level.
Instead of thinking, I'm bad at English, think I'm getting better every day.
Yes. It's all about progress, not limitations.
I love that. And it's important to celebrate those small wins along the way, right?
Absolutely. Every small victory is a step forward, so make a point of recognizing them.
Look what? Give me some examples.
Did you understand a video without subtitles? Did you have a conversation without freezing up? Those are big deal.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes we forget to acknowledge those moments.
Right. They're proof that you're learning. And ultimately, remember, the goal is communication.
Yeah. Don't let the fear of a little grammar slip up keep you from speaking.
Being able to express your thoughts and ideas, that's the real win.
So how do we actually make learning English a bit easier?
Well, there are a bunch of strategies that can help, and the key is finding what works for you.
Okay, I like that. So what's the first one?
Strategic immersion. Now, this doesn't mean diving headfirst into an all-English environment and just hoping for the best. That can be way too overwhelming.
Yeah, that sounds a little intense.
Right. It's about surrounding yourself with English in ways you actually enjoy.
So like watching a show with English subtitles or listening to a podcast on a topic you actually find interesting.
Exactly. It's about making English a natural part of your life.
Yeah, make it fun.
And even small changes can make a big difference, like change the language settings on your phone or social media to English.
Oh, that's a good one.
Right. You're getting exposed to the language without even really trying.
I like it. Okay, what else?
Speaking practice every day.
Okay, hold on. A lot of people think they need a partner to practice with.
You don't. Even just talking to yourself in English helps a ton.
Like describing what you're doing, practicing those conversations in your head.
Exactly. Or even like record yourself speaking English and listen back to it.
That's a good idea. Okay, what about those language learning apps?
Apps can be really useful, like Duolingo or Anki for vocab, HelloTalk to find language partners.
Right, but they're tools, not the whole solution.
Yes. They're great for building a foundation, but you got to use that foundation in real conversations.
Which is why finding a language partner or a tutor can be so valuable.
Oh, absolutely. Even just a short conversation a few times a week can make a huge difference.
Yeah, you don't have to jump into super deep conversations right away. Just start with the basics.
Exactly. Another good one is learning in chunks, meaning phrases instead of just single words.
Okay, explain that one.
So like learning, I'm not sure about that, or that's a good point, instead of memorizing each word separately.
Got it. So learn ready-made phrases.
Right. It makes you sound more fluent and natural.
And you pick up on how words are actually used together.
Exactly. Another thing, prioritize listening.
I feel like reading gets all the attention.
Reading is important, but listening to English helps your brain get used to how it really sounds.
Like all the natural rhythms and connected speech and stuff.
Exactly. And even if you don't understand every single word, your brain is still working hard to make sense of it.
It's like training your ears to hear English.
Precisely. And then there's this really cool technique called shadowing.
Okay, tell us more about that.
So you listen to a piece of audio, like a news clip or a podcast,
Okay.
and then you repeat it out loud, trying to match the speaker's rhythm and pronunciation.
So, like, you're their echo.
Yeah. It's amazing for pronunciation and fluency.
So it's not just about what you learn, but also how you learn it.
Exactly. Make it fun and engaging.
You mentioned making an emotional connection to learning.
Yeah. We remember things better when they're tied to an emotion. So watch something funny in English, or listen to a song that makes you feel something.
So it's about finding things that resonate with you.
Right. It makes learning more enjoyable and you'll remember more.
Okay, let's flip the script. What are some things that people should avoid doing when learning English?
The first one is comparing yourself to others.
No, yeah, that's a big one.
It's a trap. Everyone learns at their own pace. So, focus on your own progress, not someone else's.
Easy to say, harder to do, especially with social media.
True. And don't get too obsessed with grammar.
I think a lot of people get stuck there.
Knowing the rules is important, but you got to use them.
Right, don't just memorize. Actually speak and write.
Exactly. It's like learning all about a car engine, but never actually driving.
Makes sense. And this goes back to mindset. But don't be afraid of making mistakes.
Oh yeah, mistakes are your friends.
Seriously.
They show you where you need to improve. See them as opportunities to learn.
I like to think of them as proof that I'm pushing myself outside my comfort zone.
Perfect. And try to avoid boring, repetitive learning methods.
Things can get stale if you're not careful.
Exactly. Find ways to keep it fun and interesting. Games, music, movies, all that good stuff.
It's all about staying engaged.
Mm.
Okay, final question. How do we stay motivated over the long haul?
Set realistic goals. Don't try to do too much at once.
So instead of saying, I want to be fluent in 6 months, break it down into smaller steps.
Right, like, I'm going to learn 5 new words this week.
I also find that tracking your progress helps a lot.
Definitely. It's super motivating to see how far you've come. Keep a journal or a list of new words.
It's proof that your hard work is paying off.
Yes. And celebrate those small wins. Give yourself a reward when you reach a goal.
And when you hit those inevitable dips in motivation.
Take a break. It's okay to step away for a day or two if you're feeling burned out.
And we all need that sometimes.
Absolutely. And most importantly, remember your why.
Why did you start learning English in the first place?
Exactly. That reason is your fuel, your motivation.
Okay, let's sum up all this amazing advice. We talked about why English can feel hard, from tricky rules to a giant vocabulary. We looked at how our brains actually learn a new language.
We emphasized the importance of mindset and celebrating those small wins.
And we gave you a ton of practical strategies to make learning easier and more fun.
We want you to leave feeling empowered, not defeated.
Because those struggles you're feeling, they're normal. It's part of the process.
With consistent effort and a little strategy, you can make amazing progress.
So take what you've learned today and apply it to your own journey.
Remember, every effort counts. Keep going.
And never forget, learning a language is an ongoing adventure. There will always be more to learn and discover, but that's part of the beauty of it.
Keep exploring, keep practicing, and most importantly, keep speaking.